What is up, y'all, and welcome back to another video. And like I've been saying in the last few videos, there's not a lot of news to report on in the NBA, but there's something new here that I actually really enjoy, and I really want to talk about it. And the news is going to be on the player called Victor Oladipo. So obviously, if you're an NBA fan, you probably know him. Unless you're a new one, I mean, most people know Victor Oladipo. And I actually am very excited to talk about this topic because I actually am a big fan of Victor Oladipo. I mean, he's had a very rough career in terms of injuries. I mean, he was on top of the NBA world and then on the bottom at the fucking very next day, damn near. So it's just rough. It's just rough for Victor Oladipo in his whole career. So I'm excited to talk about this topic. Let's get into it. So let's start it off with a tweet from NBA Central saying, Victor Oladipo says he's not retiring and still has a lot left in the tank. And the quote goes from Victor Oladipo, obviously, "I'm not retiring. It's just not what I'm doing right now. I got a ton left in the tank. I'm training, rehabbing every day." And this is very good to hear. Obviously, you know, he ended off his career in the Heat in that playoff run where he had a bad injury, a bad knee injury, and he wasn't the same. I mean, he came back, but he bounced around a bunch of different teams. He never really stayed on the roster, and he never played a game, and he just got cut at the end of the day on the Memphis Grizzlies. So, you know, Oladipo had a very rough end to his career, so if he can get a redemption arc here, that's very good, and this tweet is actually very promising. And another tweet was coming out for speculation saying the same news we just talked about, but it also said the Heat, Sixers, and Clippers would make good fits for the guard, and then it also says his last game was on April 22nd, 2023, and that's actually a long time ago. I mean, time is flying. I mean, I feel like 2023 was not that long ago, but in reality, it's damn near almost 2 years ago. This date was almost 2 years ago from today, and that's kind of crazy to think about. 2023 was 2 years ago, but that's besides the point. Obviously, him joining the Heat would be, you know, a good option for him. They just lost Jimmy Butler, so they kind of need more scoring, and if he is somewhat of the scorer he was in his last playing days in the NBA, that'd be good for the Heat. They said the Clippers too. Clippers not a bad fit. I mean, they have a really good team. They have a really solid team. They don't really have a superstar, but you know, he could be another good role player for the Clippers. And then the last team was the 76ers, and they're honestly in a rough spot right now. They have a bunch of old contracts. I mean, if they can get Oladipo on a minimum deal, maybe that can help them. But I mean, the Sixers are kind of a lost cause. Maybe Oladipo could get some good reps in for the Sixers, but I'm not really sure how much I like that fit. But we actually have the original odds now, the real odds on what team Victor Oladipo will go to, and this is what it is. And it says the New York Knicks are the favorites to win the Victor Oladipo sweepstakes, and it says the Knicks, the Magic, the Celtics, the Thunder, and the Cavs are the top 5 options. And honestly, this makes a little bit more sense to me than the last tweet, as all these teams are contending teams, and I feel like Oladipo would be good on a team that's contending because, you know, his defensive ability and his scoring ability, it's a great two-way player that any of these teams can have. And for the Knicks, I mean, they don't play a lot of players, to be honest. They just run their starters and their 6th and 7th man to the ground. But I mean, if he can crack that rotation, he could be a good piece for them. I just hope they don't overwork him and he gets injured again. That would suck if the Knicks got him in that circumstance. Obviously, the Knicks could use him well if they use him right. But we also have the Magic, which I like. I mean, he can be a veteran presence for that team because they have KCP, but I mean, the other players in their teams are all young. So, you know, he could be a good veteran presence for the young guys on the Magic. And then we have the Celtics. I mean, they have Drew Holiday and Derek White already, but they add him, Oladipo, to the bench. That could be a good little defensive guard rotation. So I like that on the Celtics too. Then we have the Thunder. I mean, like I just said with the Celtics, they have Dort and they have, Caruso. So that'd be a good defensive trio there too. So that'd be also a good fit for the Thunder. Then we have the Cavs, who I actually like the most because they just lost Karis LeVert. They just got rid of Isaac Okoro, but they got obviously DeAndre Hunter to be that starting small forward. But, you know, a guy like Oladipo off the bench could bring the scoring that Karis LeVert had. Then he can also bring the defense that Karis LeVert didn't have. And, you know, it could be a very good, you know, guy off the bench for the Cavs. So I actually like him the most for the Cavs. But, you know, let me know what you guys think in the comments about this news. I mean, I feel like he could fit well with all these teams, but, you know, Oladipo is a good player. So, you know, anywhere he could go, he would be a good fit for them, in my opinion. But, you know, yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments about where Oladipo will go, because I really want to see him back in the league, and I hope he does actually go somewhere. I hope a team gives him a chance, because I think, you know, at least what we saw before, obviously he had a bad injury, but at least we saw before the injury, Oladipo was playing pretty good on the Heat. I mean, obviously it wasn't really a part of that champion or that finals run because he got injured early in the playoffs, but I mean, Oladipo, if he could play at least somewhat of what he was on the Heat for any of these teams, he could be a good help for them. So, you know, yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments again, like I said, for the 3rd time. But yeah, let me know what you guys think, and like the video, do all that stuff, and yeah, we out.